Hello there, and welcome to Alvarez's Diecast Customs. Now today we're going to be working on this Hot Wheels 1970s Chevrolet Chevelle SS. This is a pretty cool looking car to begin with. I really do like the way this one sits. It's very low down. It's got that really sort of good NASCAR racer look to it. But as you can see, it's a pretty tired, play-worn thing. So yep, let's get a closer look at it. A really cool looking thing. Bit battered and bruised, but that's what we're here for, to get that sorted out. So I've already taken the time to drill the base out on this one. Start off with a 2mm drill bit, then work up to a 5mm to remove the main piece of the head off. I like to use these 5mm self-tapping screws to screw the base back on. Seems to have rusted up a little bit on the axles there. There's that interior piece there. It's all chromed out, so we'll be sorting that out as well. Really not keen on the chrome that Hot Wheels tends to slaver everything with on their builds. Window piece is a bit scuffed up and scratched. That needs a bit of attention. There's that body. Needs the paint stripping. So I'll go pop that in a pot of paint stripper, let that strip for about an hour. We need to go about removing these wheels as well. So I'll just use the flathead on a screwdriver and literally just pop them out. Very little resistance from those. Great. And there's those wheels. Won't be keeping them, I'll be replacing them with something else. So the paint's been stripped off now. Pop that in a pot paint stripper for about an hour, then used an old toothbrush to scrub it off underneath a hot water tap. Just let that run it off. You're left with that. So those wheels, I've decided to go with these ones. These are from Scuderia 73. Pretty cool things. And I'm also going to be using the original stock axles from this thing to thread through these new wheels. So we're going to be cutting these in half in order to get the wheels off of them. So I just use my side cutters and cut those in half. Holding my hand over them so they don't go pinging around the room, never to be found again. And onto this one. Get that cut in half. And these axles, they will be a direct fit with these new wheels, which is great. We will have to knock out some axle tubes for these to hold them in place, but it's a start so far. Now onto the body, I like to use these fine diamond files and just go over cleaning out some of the errors on the bodies, the moulding lines and creases and dents and whatever else. So we'll just start off on the rear spoiler here and clean that up, sharpen it all up. It looked like it had been bashed about a bit. So yeah, just try and get it from all angles. Just really smooth that out. Also, some of the areas that you don't often see is underneath the seals of the edges here. Just tidy those up. They tend to have a few moulding errors on them, sort of lumps and things, so just really sharpen those up. I also noticed this bit of a ripple on the roof here, so I'll just be filing that off as well. Just really smooth that out. These sort of things really stand out when you start putting your paint on top, because Hot Wheels generally put very thick layers of paint on themselves, so you don't often see a lot of this, but when you start going about doing your customs yourself on them, these errors really show up with the thinner paints that you generally have to apply to them. If you're striving for perfection, it's probably the best way of going about it, to be honest, is sorting them out with that. Also cleaned up some of the edges on the base here. They had a bit rough spots on them. Just used some emery paper for that. Also went over the entire body with the emery paper. And also the bumpers on the interior piece as well. Just tidied those up. They were a bit bashed around. So we'll get all that cleared up. There's our axles there I knocked up for those wheels. I've done this before in many of my videos, so I'll put a link up in the top there so you can check that out about how to do that yourself. Yep, just up there. Just follow that link. There's a video up there that I've done the full procedure that I do for doing these axles. So just get on to painting these parts in the meantime. Decided to go with a fiery red for this one. Nice looking colour. Base got hit with some matte black straight out of a spray can. Interior got hit with some primer straight out of a spray can. And the same procedure for the body as well. Primer straight out of a spray can, then use some of the fiery red from a spray can. Still have yet to invest in a spray gun and an airbrush and all that. And I get such consistent results anyway with the spray cans. I haven't really felt any need to move on from them yet. So I'll just be picking out some of the extra details on this body here, just using this Chevelle silver. Simply just brushing it on, just painting in the side skirts on this just to pick out some of the details there. Base is going to get the silver Sharpie treatment to it to pick out some of the details on that. Very quick and clean method of doing it. Probably just do it to some of your standard Hot Wheels that you like to have on your shelf. Just grab a silver Sharpie and just start adding some little details to them. Make them really pop. It's a great thing to sort of do your headlights and things like that on them as well. Especially if you can get hold of some of the other colours like the reds and oranges, you can do some of the tail lights with it too. As it is, I'll just be using it simply just to add some extra details to the chassis here. And also on the interior piece where it had some extra details there, it seems to be a fire extinguisher and some oil can. I don't know what that is. It looks like a calculator. Whatever, calculator, yep, sure. There we go. Set that aside. I did add some extra details. I used some other Sharpie colours on top of that. Pretty simple and quick procedure that was. And the silver Sharpie I used just to add some details on there as well with the headlights and the bonnet pins. Now we're going to be going over with the Molotow chrome pen for this window on the rear. It's got quite a defined sort of window rim to it, so I'll just be detailing that with this. Let's go around the whole thing. Need quite a steady hand with this, as the pen does flow quite quickly. You need to keep it moving regularly. So just ease it around. I find the fatter tip on these things a lot easier to control. The needle tip ones that you can get, you just be sort of slipping and sliding all over the edges. So yeah, the fat tip's the way to go with that one. And on the interior piece, it has the front and rear bumpers. I'll just be going over the front and rear quickly, just with some matte black paint as a good base coat to go with. Front grille gets hit with the black as well. I'll be going over these with the Chevelle silver afterwards. On the interior there, I'll just be going over the insides with some Tamiya metallic grey. Really nice colour, this one. I really do like the way this one always turns out. It's quite a darker, almost gunmetal look to it, really, but yeah, it's just really effective for not looking so bright, a bit more dull compared to other silvers. So one of my colours of choice in my paint box for things like this. And there we go, we set that aside to dry. And it wouldn't be one of my videos without some Nuln oil in it either, so yeah, here it comes. We're going to be adding some details to the body with this. Literally just going around some of the detailed edges, highlighting them, placing some Nuln oil into them, just as the door lines and the bonnet lines and whatever. Just really contrasts well. Also on the headlights, you'll notice pretty much immediately when I start applying it to the headlights. It really defines them. It really makes them contrast really well. Really good effect to it. Very simple as well. Literally just gently place it in there and it flows itself into all the crevices where it needs to go. Just gives these little things a bit of boost of much needed realism, that some of them tend to look a bit fake and bright and plain sometimes. So doing these little details like this just really improves them to my eye. Yeah, as you can see, I've added some extra details there with the door lines. It's coming all together quite nicely there. Now onto the front and rear bumpers. We're hitting that with some of that Chevelle silver as well. I do later go over these bumpers with some Molotow chrome pen, just to highlight them a bit more. And you also notice on the rear there, I did hit the brake lights with some red Sharpie pen, really. It was a metallic red. It was pretty quick and easy. Just highlighting it with those. Also not forgetting to do the interior with a good coat of Nuln oil. It has a really good habit of tying it all together. Base also, good coat of Nuln oil too. Yep, this is all coming together quite nicely. It's about time we put it all back together now. So there's our window piece. I didn't really show any of that while I was in the process of building this up, but I literally just cleaned it and then used some Tamiya clear and brushed it on, did a couple of coats, and that's what you're left with. There's that interior piece. I had a quick coat of Nuln oil, and you can see there the Molotow chrome pen on the front and rears just to really highlight them. Pop that straight in. Wheels from Scuderia 73. Really nice ones these are. Really pleased with those. Got a few of them in the box. May show up again in another custom in the future. And there's the interior piece. I do like how they've added the chair and some extra details on the actual base piece there. It's quite cool. 5mm self-tapping screws. In they go. Thankfully I haven't misplaced my screwdriver today. Super Pochaco's been out of the way, so she's not misbehaving today. So, let's take a look at what we started with before I reveal it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool looking car. Definitely play-worn and battered and scuffed about. But as it sat, I really like the stance of it. Very low. It's got a really good mean look to it. I just wanted to turn it into a bit more of a street machine. So yeah, here's what we ended up with. A really nice glossy clear coat on this one. Been proven really well recently with these clear coats that I've been doing on my cars. It's a polyurethane based one straight out of a spray can. I do 2 coats of it and then give it about a day's drying time, and that's what you're left with. I really do like how that fiery red's gone with that as well. It's got really sort of deep look to it. That glossy paint on it as well. Just really comes together. And those wheels, just perfect. So chuffed with those wheels. So I've really enjoyed putting this one together. It's not too over the top, quite simple custom really. But that's just what I need now and then. Don't want to be going over the top with decals and all these milliput clays and things for widened wheel arches. It gets a bit tiring doing that after a while. Nice to have a bit of a refreshing sort of custom like these. Quite a simple thing. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of it. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I'll just leave you with some more shots of it in the meantime. So yeah, this has been another custom by me, Alvarez's Diecast Customs. I do hope you have enjoyed watching this one. If you wish to check out some of my other builds, do check out some of my other videos on my channel, or you can also check me out on Instagram under Alvarez Azel. I've got a bunch of content up on there, some of my customs and some customs that never see the light of day on this channel, and also some sort of family life and pictures of dogs and whatever else on there. So yeah, do follow me on there if you're interested. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.